Okay, everybody. Hey, I wanted to show you this business calculator that I've created. This calculator's helped me run my own business and help me figure out what I need to charge per hour based on the expenses that I have to make a profit in my company. And I figured I would share this sheet with you as well so that you can punch your own numbers in there and figure out, your overhead costs for your business. So to get started, if you look here in the orange box, it says only edit the blue cells. The rest of the cells will just automatically populate on the calculator. And depending on your industry, you're going to have to make some changes, obviously. This is designed for the landscape industry, because that's the industry I'm in. And when we get started here, the first thing you'll want to enter in is all of your fixed costs. So these are going to be costs that you cannot get rid of. They're costs you have every month. Like, you're going to have to pay rent, you have to pay power, gas, electricity, your phone. These are all things that you're responsible to pay for that do not fluctuate. So I also put fuel in there, even though each month fuel might change for you. I just put a fuel budget in there. And then you'll note down here at the bottom your salary. So in a business that you own and operate by yourself, you want the business to cover your expenses and then give you money on top of that as a salary. You'll notice here that the current expenses that are put in here total $3,820. So that would mean that you're pulling out $3,820 a month, which is pretty decent, I think, for a living wage. The business is going to cover all of these expenses for you and then give you $1,500 spending cash that you can use to cover whatever other expenses you might have. So as we get started here, we'll just go ahead and change a couple numbers here. Maybe we'll anticipate we're paying rent and it's only $850. Say our fuel is not $320, maybe we want to spend $120. So you can see the calculator adjusts at the bottom there. The second thing that we're going to work on is right here is hours worked per month. So this is going to be the amount of hours you actually work. So assuming you work a 40-hour week, 40 hours times 4 weeks is 160 hours. But you can't bill your client for all of those 40 hours every week because some of the time is spent driving or taking phone calls or doing emails or whatever. So you're going to want to adjust this number, which is your efficiency. So I think a general rule of thumb, 80% of your time is probably spent performing billable work, whereas the other 20% is spent doing admin stuff, at least in my business. In your business, this might be totally different, and adjust that number as needed. So you can see if we work for 160 hours a month, we're 80% efficient. We will have 128 hours that are billed to clients. So this calculator here right now is calculating overhead per hour. So it's taking your monthly expenses that you entered here, summing them all here, which is $3,270, and it is dividing this $3,270 by the billable hours, which is 128 hours, leaving you with $25.55 per hour. So that is the base. That you could work for $25 an hour for your clients and get by every month with this scenario. So that's your very basic overhead calculator. Obviously, things will change for you, your industry, or your location. So now things start to get more complicated when we throw employees in the mix. So we're going to add an employee to this calculator. So this middle section right here, this is all you. As a self-employed individual, you only need to modify this middle section here. Now let's say you're a solo operator and you just have one helper with you. This calculator is just to add yourself plus one employee. So what we're going to do here is we're going to punch in our employee's hourly wage. So let's say we pay our employee $15 an hour. That's general rule of thumb. I know some pay more, some pay less. I'm just throwing this number in there as an arbitrary number. You pick what you use in your business. Underneath there, you'll see the tax burden. This covers Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, unemployment, all that jazz. It adds up to about 15% of the employee's hourly wage. So if you put a higher number in here, this number is going to change. So for every hour that your employee works at $15 per hour, it costs you as the business owner an additional $2.35. If he works for $16 an hour, it's going to cost you $2.51. Now, I didn't go through the hassle of creating all of the tiers that are associated with this. It's just a general rule of thumb to get you a rough idea for what to charge in your business. So you take your employee's hourly wage, you add in their cost per hour under the tax burden, and then you add your overhead burden. Your overhead burden here is this same number here from your overhead per hour. So this overhead burden covers you as the business owner and all of your expenses to operate the business. So all of the things that are listed there in the middle. It sums all of those together, and it costs you $42.90 per hour. So that is bare minimum. That is breaking even. That is not making any money on top as gravy to take home. $42.90 an hour. So obviously we're in this business to make profit. So we're going to go over here to the right, and we have our target profit margin calculator here. So if our target profit margin is 15% and our hourly overhead costs are $42, we will need to charge $56.63 per hour. If we want to make 20%, we need to charge $60 an hour. 25%, $64 an hour, and so on. So this calculator right here is currently set up to calculate 25% profit margin. And you can see here, if you were to work with your employee for 128 hours every single month, you should be grossing $8,200 per month. You would be expensing $2,700 of that on labor, and you would be expensing $3,200 of that on expenses, all the things you listed here in the middle, and then your business would profit $2,190, leaving you with a 26% interest or profit margin. That's how the calculator works. I could jump into more nitty-gritty details on each one, but essentially if you follow these instructions here in this box, it'll tell you how the calculator works. Follow the video. If you have questions, feel free to shoot me a private message. I'd be more than happy to help you answer them. But I hope that you can take this calculator and use it to help yourself grow your business this year. 2021 is going to be an interesting year, especially with all the new legislation that's coming in, and the talk of wages going up. We still want to be competitive in the market, and you really have to know your numbers to be competitive. This is not going to get you dialed in exactly where you need to be. For your industry, it might be different. You might not be able to charge $60 an hour where you live, but it'll get you in the ballpark. The other thing I should note, as I said that, is this $64 per hour that this is calculating is for you and your helper. So that would be for both of you to work on the job site, which is pretty cheap. Now, this is your break-even plus your profit margin. If you want to, most companies charge $40 an hour per person or more, $60 an hour per person. Just depends on where you are. If you want to get a better idea, maybe change your efficiency. So if we dial this into 75%, you can see it jumps our hourly rate up. Maybe we jump this down to 60%. You can see now we have to charge $77 an hour. It automatically just populates everything for you. You don't need to pick, essentially. So just adjust your efficiency after you put all the numbers in. Depending on your crew, the people you have working for you, yourself, how efficient you are, how tight and dense your route is. all of those variables change everything drastically. So, you know your numbers better than I do. This is just a guide to help you get you where you need to be. So adjust the calendar as necessary. I like to keep it as a rule of thumb at 80% for myself, but whatever you need to do for your business. So I hope this video helped. If you found this useful, like the video and subscribe, because I'll have more videos like this coming out. I'm going to be sharing all of the information that I use to run my business with you so you can run your business better. And that's what I got. Signing out.